All right, hello everyone. This is Balaji O. I have Joshua with me, and we are the Funnel Mechanics. Today, we are going to be talking about how to get offline clients fast without the hassle, without the heartache, and without the rejection. Thank you for joining us today. This is going to be an interactive presentation, so by all means, ask questions, and we will be very happy to help you with your answers. Okay? First, I better get rid of my little doodle on there. I'm going to work on my handwriting, folks. Sorry about that. But just a quick recap for those who might be joining us for the first time, because we do have some new additions to the Funnel Mechanics family. First, I am Balaji O. I'm a husband, very happily married, and dad of two great young boys. I'm an offline marketer, and I'm a coach and speaker. I also have enjoyed writing over my career, and I've written several books. I've recently created a multimedia company for publishing children's books, actually. So if you really want to get me fired up, ask me about my children's books, and I'll talk about them another time. I enjoyed talking quite a bit, so I have founded a couple of podcasts in the past few years, and I even used to dabble in programming. I was a computer scientist in college, and so I built one of the very first college social networks. That was back in 1999, I think, when Mark Zuckerberg was still in middle school. You know, these young whippersnappers, they don't show any respect for for the first generation folks. But anyway, not that I'm bad.
You're just happy. You're just happy.
Yes, indeed. My partner is Joshua K. Joshua, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would, please.
All right. I'm a husband, and I've got three kids, a daughter and two boys, all under 6 or under 7. Is it? Yeah. I can't miss
You should have more gray hair. You should have more gray hair than that. Do you color your hair? I think he colors it because his hair is always looking sharp. And with 3 kids, but I didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue.
All right.
Great
I'm a
hair.
coach and I'm a speaker. I've been featured. I've been a featured speaker in a business startup event in London in 2011. I've consulted one of the events organizers in the UK, the London Notting Hill Carnival, for their social media. I've been generating leads for accountants that pays me about 100 pounds per lead. Okay. I've actually done some other JV stuff with offline clients as well. Launched a couple of books myself, and didn't add that there, but I've launched a couple of books myself, but that's an underground kind of a thing. So we don't want to let you talk so much about that one.
Good stuff. And Joshua does come from an entrepreneurial family. His wife is an entrepreneur as well. So we live, eat, breathe, and sleep entrepreneurship. And together, Joshua and I have sold over 10,000 products. We've coached hundreds of offline marketing consultants and acquired clients in dozens of niches. So what we're going to do today is we're going to teach you how to get offline clients fast without the hassle, the heartache, or the rejection. Now, why is this important? Why are we putting emphasis on getting clients fast? Getting clients fast, by the way, is not the only way or the best way to get clients, right? But it does meet a particular need. So why is it important to us and to you? To answer that question, I want to ask you a question, okay? So here's where I ask you to pull your pens out, or, well, don't write on your screen. I want you to type. Type in the question box and answer me this question, if you don't mind. Why did you get into offline marketing? How did you find yourself on this quest, on this journey? How did you get to where you are today as an offline marketer? You know, in speaking with hundreds of fellow offline consultants over the years, we've heard all sorts of very personal reasons, such as some people just want to help local businesses. Some do it for financial freedom. Yeah. Some for retirement income. You know, a lot of folks are close to retirement age, and they realize that they're going to need to not count on the things that they could count on before aren't necessarily so stable. So retirement income is high on a lot of people's minds to improve one's lifestyle. right? Just to have more disposable income, to be able to take more vacations. For some, it's to replace the income from that 9 to 5 job that isn't giving enough pay, enough hours, enough benefits, whatever the case might be. And yet for others still, they want independence. They want that satisfaction of achievement, that you've been able to build something. And they want to actually pass on that success to local businesses who, frankly, we all know at least 1 or 2 or 3 local businesses that really are running very mediocre operations today and could use our help, right? So there are lots of reasons, and I want you to share your reason as well, if you don't mind sharing with us what led you to offline marketing, right? As I alluded to earlier, some of us want to build a business that we can pass on to our kids and to our grandkids. Really, really important, really personal reasons for getting into offline. So offline is important. Offline matters. Getting results matters. And yet, there's a problem, isn't there? These are some of the comments and some of the frustrations that we hear from our students. We've heard the complaint that, I have all the products I need, but now I'm stuck. That's a big word, stuck, trying to implement. We've heard people say, I need help getting clients to actually buy. How can I get them to buy what I have to sell? Others still have told us, look, I bought the latest great product, okay, but I don't have the knowledge to actually make it work. It's like buying a black box and then not knowing where the on switch is, right? A lot of people are very, very frustrated by that. Others still have said, I'm struggling to make business owners see the potential of, fill in the blank. It might be mobile marketing, as in the case of this offliner, or it could be anything else that you have to offer. So there are a lot of challenges that our fellow offliners are experiencing. They have the knowledge, they've bought the info products, they even have the tools, but they're having a hard time closing the deals, getting the results, right? That's what motivates Joshua and myself to really, really put everything we have into sharing our success with you, okay? So you're getting a lot of information, but you're not getting the help with the implementation that you need. Sometimes you're not getting the help in getting started. Sometimes it's hard to get started. You're not getting the help to get unstuck along the way. Everybody gets stuck, by the way, along the way. I tell this to my kids all the time. I tell this to my 6-year-old because he's really into board games and card games and things, but and puzzles, but he hates to lose. He doesn't understand losing. And I tell him, listen, every time you lose, don't get mad and walk away. There's a lesson to be learned there. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out why you lose, and then let's try again. The challenge is if I don't have a mentor or somebody to talk me through those momentary setbacks, we stand up and walk away, don't we? All of us do that. It's not just you. It's not just me or Joshua. All of us do that, and it takes that third-party perspective to sort of talk us off the ledge. A lot of us aren't getting help figuring out in what order to implement things in. What do I do first? Do I put up my website first? Should I do my business cards? Do I get testimonials? Should I go get recurring deals, high-ticket deals, low-ticket deals? People need help. They need more than information. They need help. Now, if this doesn't get better, if this doesn't change, you really could maintain the status quo now, couldn't you? The easiest thing to do is, even when it's not working, is to maintain the status quo. But what does that mean for you? It means more and more effort with less and less results. I know that already feels familiar to a lot of us, right? It means you keep getting more educated. How many of you have friends who don't stop going to school, right? Let's take a drink of water there. Yeah, folks that keep on getting education, but they don't actually make progress beyond gathering those degrees. It means, these roadblocks that you hit, these setbacks that you hit, instead of those turning into guidelines and lessons learned, they end up being permanent stop signs. How many of you right now can attest to a roadblock that either is in your path now or that has been in your path in the past that ended up stopping your progress, just stopped you cold? I can tell you what, I wrote a book about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was called Why I Want You to Fail. Okay? It was an ironic topic, okay, so don't get upset. It was called Why I Want You to Fail, and it had stories of a number of different personalities in entrepreneurship, in business, in government that had massive failures. You know, people like Walt Disney, for example, Steve Jobs, people who had massive failures but then turned it around and succeeded. I even got one of my favorite, in fact, my #1 business writer in the world, Seth Godin. I got Seth Godin to write the foreword of that book. Do you know I never published that book? I can't even remember the reason why I didn't publish that book. I hit one of those roadblocks, and I didn't have someone next to me to talk me off the ledge, to talk me around that roadblock, and so that project just died. Very ironic considering the title of the book. So I really do need to go back. I need to go back and finish and publish that book. But if we don't get the help that we need, all this progress that we've made up until that roadblock is going to be completely wasted. We can't afford to do that. Here's what we're going to give you, what Joshua and I will be giving you in today's training. We're going to show you how to find local businesses that need your help. No fancy software, okay? No smoke and mirrors, no sleight of hand. This is going to be easy. We're going to show you how to build rapport, okay, without feeling salesy. How many of you right now would consider yourself a salesman or a saleswoman? Like a proficient, expert, very confident salesman or saleswoman. Now, there are some people who are naturally gifted. There are some people who have been professionally trained. And then there's the rest of us, right? You know, someone like Joshua has lots of natural talents, for example, that I don't have. But with methods that we're going to teach you, you don't even have to be naturally gifted at being a salesperson or at speaking with strangers for this to work. And that's why when Joshua brought it to my attention, I was like, yeah, that'll work for me. That will work. We're going to show you how to pitch your products with zero friction, okay? Some of us are sometimes hesitant to actually get into the selling. We'll show you this process that will totally let you sell without feeling like you're selling, okay? We're going to help you avoid the awkward rejection that comes with most sales processes, or at least the risk of rejection, right? A lot of people they're concerned about that risk of rejection, and that stops them from taking action in the first place. What we're going to teach you today will allow you to sidestep that risk. We'll also show you how to go from an interested client to a closed client, right? And then finally, how to get testimonials and referrals, very valuable, from that client. Does that sound good? If that sounds good, put it into the question box or in the chat box right now. Tell me that you're ready. Give me a big, fat, with all caps, ready, with exclamation points. And a cherry on top. Thank you. I need that. I need that to get fired up. Thank you. Thank you. I feel that. Okay. Joshua, I think we have permission to move forward. Shall we move forward? Let's move forward. Let's talk about a case study. A lot of you picked up a product that we released recently called Mobile Money Laundering, okay, Mobile Money Laundering. And it essentially talked about how Joshua was able to approach now multiple dry cleaners, not just one, but at the time it was one dry cleaner, and how he was able to, he stumbled upon this method, right? He wasn't looking to sell, but how he was able to end up getting these dry cleaners to almost fall over themselves, wanting what he had to offer, simply because of the way he framed the conversation. Joshua has used this with several dry cleaners, and this method, by the way, works in multiple other niches. It works in lots of neighborhood niches. If you have a local business that you can walk into, like I was in a yogurt shop just a couple of days ago with my wife, and they need help in the worst way. You know, we asked them if they're on Yelp. They're actually good. It was a nice experience, and my wife she's like a duchess of Yelp. She's always Yelping. And so she asked them, hey, are you guys on Yelp? I want to leave a review. And the employees were like, what's a Yelp? Yes, true story. So this method will work way beyond just dry cleaners, okay? But let's go ahead and get into it. If you've already picked up the product, Mobile Money Laundering, don't worry. You're going to gain a lot from going through this process again. You'll be able to ask questions, and most importantly, you'll be able to take us on with the challenge of going to use this method in the next couple of days. Okay? Sound fair? All right. All right, excuse me while I took another drink of water there. So Joshua, what Joshua did was he had some clothes to get dry cleaned because Joshua always has to look pretty when he goes out. Me, I'm always in a t-shirt and shorts, and this is no exaggeration. My wife actually took me shopping yesterday. We were going out to lunch, and we went out to lunch, got some yogurt, and there is a department store right next to the yogurt store, and so my wife is like, yeah, let's just go in there just to see what they have, just to see. She ended up buying me, I think, 12 shirts. And when we got home, she threw away all my t-shirts, including one that was 13 years old that I used to wear in college, which I'm really mad about. But, I digress. So Joshua dresses a lot better than I do. And Joshua had to go to the dry cleaner. Now, he had his regular dry cleaner, but after he had used this method once, he started to refine it. So what he did was he used Google, did a Google search, and he found local dry cleaners in his immediate neighborhood. And he profiled them, okay? So do they have a website? Do they have a mobile site? And do they have online reviews? You could do this in the space of about 60 to 90 seconds on each dry cleaner. It's really, really simple. It's not fancy. Even your kid could do it, okay? So step one, you simply want to identify 3 dry cleaners nearby. And I'll tell you why you should do 3, why you shouldn't just stop at 1 in a few minutes, okay? All right. Now, after Joshua identified 3 dry cleaners, right, and this, I should mention this. Remember I said Joshua stumbled upon this method the first time? So the first time he just happens to go take his clothes to the dry cleaner, and this method worked? Well, I dared him. I issued him a dare a few weeks ago, and I was like, I bet you couldn't do it again. And Joshua was like, really? So that's when he Googled 3 dry cleaners, and he went out, and hey, it worked again. So step 2 in the process was to actually take some clothes to be dry cleaned, or in Joshua's case, he actually needed to get his jacket altered because, yes, my man Joshua has been working out, okay? He has been, hey, listen, on a personal note, Joshua's really been motivating me this summer. He has gotten into this regular workout routine, and I'm like, what are you, trying out for Mr. Universe or something? So I have to start working my lazy behind out now. But yes, Joshua's been working out. He's actually lost a bunch of weight to the point where his clothes don't fit. So he had to go get this nice jacket altered. Good for you, Joshua. But yeah, whether you're getting your clothes dry cleaned or altered, if all your clothes are clean, give them to your kids and have them roll around on the grass for a half hour and you'll be good. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Joshua happens to be very good at breaking the ice. He has his methods. I don't ask questions, okay? But not all of us are nearly as good or effective at breaking the ice. And so Joshua devised this method that works for the rest of us, okay? And that method basically has to do with going into a business as a customer, right? Because what business owner is going to be rude or dismissive to you when you're a paying customer? Probably none, okay? So Joshua, can you talk a little bit about why you walked in with your clothes and your iPad?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right, cool. The iPad was, in fact, Stephen Jobs, God bless him, because this is you taking your presentation wherever you go. Okay, so it was a matter of, I know that the best way to actually catch someone's attention, or the best way to catch my own attention, basically, is to show me what I'm more or less the sort of person that seeing is believing. Show me. Understand? There you show me. So I'm always thinking, okay, I've got loads of people in my shoes. Imagine if I wanted to say, if I wanted a website, and one person says to me, oh, I can do your website. I can do the ones with the video and really and truly, I'm just imagining it. He's got nothing to show me. You understand? And imagine the next one just walking in and having like a portfolio of stuff to show me, oh, this is how. Then that can generate more ideas. As a business owner myself, I can be thinking, oh, can we try this or can we try this? You know what I'm trying to say? So that was a way to actually for me to start up a relationship and spark up a conversation, because the iPad is a very nice gadget anyway that everyone wants to actually have a tap. You can't resist the tap. You know what I'm trying to say? So once you touch my stuff, I must talk to you.
That's a very good point. And I really like that angle because the way that Joshua kind of spun it was he did the customer transaction first, right? He didn't go into business first. He did the customer transaction first. He gave them his clothes and everything. But then he casually started to talk about, oh, I was looking for you on, XYZ. So Joshua, how did you kind of switch it from being a customer to now starting to talk about their online presence?
I kind of like, I knew when I walked in, I kind of like identified the business owner. You can tell the business owner from maybe the partner or someone else that works there. They are all two guys in their 50s, mid 50s or 60s, something like that, or early 60s or something like that. So I could tell that, okay, that's the guy, because the guy that had the tape measure around his neck, and okay, I said this is the guy that does the fixing of clothes. So I looked at the other guy. I knew that I knew he was the guy I could deal with. That's the guy that owned the shop. So I first of all spoke to the guy that would alter my clothes. So I was talking to him, and I kind of like walked to the business owner and said, "Oh, are you the business owner?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh man, I saw a smashing review about you guys on the internet, and that was why I decided to come over here. Now, I've had problems with previous dry cleaner that has washed my clothes and did not actually do a very good job. So I took it upon myself to Google to look for a dry cleaner around the area. And funny thing that where I live is a bit further up, but I had to drive down here because I wanted someone that could actually deal with my clothes. So when he had a look at my jacket, he knew, okay, all right. I said to him, I spent some money. That was back in the days, not now when you got kids. I don't spend that much on clothes because there are no investment. When you got kids, every time they're demanding for stuff, you know what I mean? So I kind of like, that's why I had to pick it up. And then when he was looking at it, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do for you? How do you want this? So when I started talking to him, he said to me, do I do websites? He kind of like changed the topic. I'm like, okay, the review. He was reading the review. He looked at the review as well. And then
so Joshua, sorry. So you gave him your iPad and showed him the review.
And he was reading the review.
Okay.
He kind of like read it a little bit, and I had to read the rest for him. I said, this is the part that actually made me want to come here, because he said he would recommend to his family and friends. Okay, and someone that could recommend to family and friends is very happy with what you've done for them. And then he said to me, I think I know this client, because with Google he picks up the photo of the reviewer.
Right.
So say I think I know this client. The wife came along, said, Can I have a look? That's me and them now playing with my iPad.
So now you guys are fully engaged, looking at this review.
That's right.
But you never said, hello, I'm an offline marketer.
No,
I sell websites.
No. He first of all asked me whether I sold websites, so I kind of like, I was still talking about the review. You know what I mean? I kept on like, I didn't hear you very well. But the missus kind of like, it caught her attention. She wanted to learn more about it. She wanted to read the review. She said, I bet you if I look at the face, I can recognize it. And then she said, I think she kind of like had a clue who the person was, And then she said to me, "Oh, there's another dry cleaner down the road. Did I look at their review?"
Interesting. So this was the main guy's wife.
That's right now.
And so now she wants you to do competitive analysis.
Correct. She was like asking me, did I read the other review about it? And somehow I was thinking, okay, this is a bit sneaky for you to ask me that. It's making me think that maybe I'm sounding a bit too much of a salesman. I sounded more like a salesman. Like I stood back a little bit. She said, "Yeah, could you look for them online? Let me see." Kind of like she wanted to look search for another business next, about a couple of doors away, right? And I wanted to check it on my own iPad. I was like, okay, fine. I said, what's the name of the business? And I googled it, and it showed up. It kind of like they had one review. He wrote, "The dry cleaners are excellent." She laughed. You know what she said to me? That's a fake review.
Really?
She said to me, "That's a fake review." That she knows them. Kind of like, I don't know whether there's been war or something like that. You see, businesses really they envy each other. You know what I'm trying to say? So I was kind of like getting into a feud that I didn't know about. You know what I'm trying to? Because at first, when she asked that question, I was wondering, okay, maybe she's thinking, okay, I didn't want. I just said, okay, let me help her Google it so she can understand what's going on. So that's actually brought the interaction. Everyone was just looking through. Imagine you walking in as a customer, everyone just looking through my iPad. I got 3 heads looking through to
All
read the
crowded
review.
around the
So,
iPad.
all crowded around the iPad. Everyone's going to be thinking, oh, what's going on here? So that's why I said that the iPad and the iPhone, those are one of the best gadgets that really has been created so far.
Yeah, but
Helps.
that is amazing, Joshua. And that's so interesting because imagine you walking in with that same iPad or smartphone, but introducing yourself as a marketer.
It would have been a door shutter.
You
Would have
know?
been a door shutter. Because at the end of the day, while we get into all this, I would explain to you what he then asked me later on. I think that's I don't know, one of the steps. What step is it?
Yeah, so this whole process is really interesting, and I just want to underline it a little bit before we move on to the next step, step 5. But even if from where Joshua is in this story, right? Even if you yourself were able to get to that point with your own local dry cleaner, and then after all that they said they weren't interested, just think about how relaxed that engagement would have been, that interaction would have been. Think about how much confidence it would even give you, even though it didn't end up in a closed deal, simply because you were able to talk with these folks. They asked lots of really, really interesting questions. And, you know, if it turned out they weren't interested, and Joshua will perhaps share a little bit about one dry cleaner who did not bite, even if it turns out that way, you don't have that awkward rejection, right? You don't have that awkwardness of feeling like a snake oil salesman, even though you're there to help. And you're able to add lots of profits to any, let me tell you this, any business, any local business that you walk into today, you could add to their bottom line. You could add to their profits with what's between your 2 ears right now. You are an extremely valuable consultant and expert, and marketing expert. But we need to get them to realize that. So anyway, Joshua, thank you for bringing us up until this point in the story. So I want to know what happens next. How did you now start getting more into what this dry cleaner is doing for marketing?
Okay, I basically said to him, "What do you do for marketing?" And this guy doesn't actually promote himself. He doesn't advertise anywhere.
He doesn't, wait, you say he doesn't advertise?
Anywhere. He doesn't advertise anywhere. The
How
only
does he
thing
get
he has,
business?
people just, walk in traffic. People that already know him. These guys, and the funny thing, they know that they are not actually making enough money.
Mm-hmm.
You know the truth, never feel bad. One of the things I learned from speaking to the last dry cleaner was never feel bad when they reject you. They are the one that is actually losing, not you. You understand? So I never feel bad even when I get a no. I kind of like sit back and think, man, this guy is lost. And really, I'm sorry for you. Sometimes I tell them, like the last dry cleaner, he was like, he was kind of like a bit slow. And I said to him, sorry to tell you this, but in the next 3 years, you're going to be struggling big time and you're going to be in more debt. I don't really wish you bad, but really and truly, the way you're going, you can't actually keep up. you can't keep up. You can't keep up because at the end of the day, buyers these days are very smart. It's not all about I've got a dry cleaner. Everyone needs dry cleaner. But what are you giving that is totally different? How do you position yourself? What's your unique selling point? Who are you in this neighborhood? It's like it turned a bit like I was upset, but really I was upset that he was stupid. You know what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, you've got to make them realize that they're losing money. It's just like someone that's got a website. You're not buying traffic. You're not going posting on your Facebook page or sharing your post to get traffic. You're just sitting and waiting. Let someone just come and visit your website. It doesn't work like that. It's just simple, you know. But most of these guys think that life is still old school, where everything is still relying on the word of mouth or who knows who can refer me to who and all those. It still works, but it's gone digital. Many of them don't have the clue. Understand? It's gone digital. So many of them don't even have a clue. They think, oh, the digital age might fade away one day.
Right, that's a fact.
There again, and there again, they might just emerge and become the best dry cleaner in town. But really and truly, they know they are dying, because you can tell a dry cleaner that is doing good for himself because they speak differently. They are happy. They're always positive. When you lay an idea to them, they jump on it because they're always looking for ideas and opportunities. Those are the smart ones. You know, one of the dry cleaners actually said to me, I feel that most other dry cleaners are suffering the same way. And I said to him, you should just speak for yourself, because I can tell you this. Google the ones that have a website. Check out the other ones that have reviews on all.
Some of them are doing really cool stuff.
These guys are doing cool stuff. I even, you know, the funny thing, like in the UK, things are a bit slower down here. Not in the sense that we don't have the gadgets and all the stuff, but the mindset of business owners is a lot more backwards here. Understand? Because I had a video on the website that I showed to him, and it had a 7-minute video of a dry cleaner talking me through how you pick up a clothes, how you make sure that your clothes are dry cleaned properly, how to take care of your clothes. Imagine when you go for the lady actually went through the process of taking a video of herself spilling some food on her clothes, and then using soda. She asked for a glass of soda and a clean towel, and then she used it to wipe it. Said you must wipe it clean first and then look for. I said I never knew about that myself.
That's so interesting. We often talk about dry cleaners being a boring business, but what you described right there is one dry cleaner who has recorded some things that people can do at home, if I'm understanding correctly, to clean their clothes. Correct. So if I had that dry cleaner in my neighborhood, I would never take my business anywhere else. I want to go to her every time my clothes are dirty.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about it, is like the website I positioned had a video of someone in their niche that is actually showing them, okay, I'm on video and I've got a dry cleaning business. So really and truly, they were thinking in their head, oh, this guy, we can't catch up with this. You get what I'm trying to say? And what I was just saying to you can. And he was just listening to the video. It was about an 8-minute video. And the lady explained all this. She took her time, went to a restaurant, and had the video camera. You know how it is to just run a video, edit a video. This had taken some time to actually set up that video, because she had different areas that she took the videos. Some in the office, some in a restaurant. I'm like, wow, this is a dry cleaner that really wants to succeed, and is tapping into everything that is available online to make sure that they get to the top and stay there. Understand what I'm trying to say? And that's the position. That's the way to actually position yourself when you speak to most of them. You don't have to speak too much. Show them what their competitors are doing, the ones that are dominating, and just make them feel little, and then tell them now you can make them feel big too. So you be the guy that will make them feel big. So that's the idea. Somehow you have to just shift the mindset. how to make them know, oh, you can do this yourself because you just explained it to me a while ago. Understand? And this is what they know. They've been doing it for so long. What they don't know about this sort of channels or avenues to actually get it online for other people to see. Okay.
Yeah, very good stuff. Very good stuff. And so the next step was essentially for Joshua to start digging into either their website or mobile site or whether they have directory listings. Interestingly enough, this dry cleaner, Joshua's talked to several dry cleaners, but the one that we're telling the story about now with the husband and the wife, and they had the review that they were reading together, right? So somebody was already leaving reviews for them. Now, Joshua, did they have their directory listings claimed and all that type of stuff?
No.
They did not have their listings claimed.
It wasn't even claimed. And the funny thing was that the review was a 2-year-old review.
Whoa, hang on. Back up. So they had a good review, but it was 2 years old?
2 years old. And they never knew about it. So this is something that I brought to their attention. How do they see me now? Who are you now? You sound very more important to them than they are to you. Forget my clothes that I just brought in. I can be another customer. But what you've just shown them now is like, okay, people are actually talking about you online. So why are you not online? You see what I'm trying to say? It's just simple. People are talking about you, and then you're nowhere to be found.
This reminds me of, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of being in like elementary school or primary school, as we called it in Nigeria when I was growing up, and somebody would come to me in the playground and say, such and such said such and such about you. I'm like, what? And, you know, I've got to find out more. Why'd they say that? What else did they say? And who else is saying this? There's that curiosity when you hear that people are talking about you for good or for ill, that you just want to find out more. So this, you probably had them hook, line, and sinker at this point.
He was more or less, and you know the funny thing, backing up a little bit, when I wanted to speak to him, he said to me, "Oh, I'm a bit busy. Well, all right, I can chat to you, but I'm very, very busy. But let's just have a chat." And I was expecting maybe about 5 minutes chat, but now they're going through my iPad. He kept his busy work on pause, and then had to speak to me now. He's enjoying the conversation because he's finding more stuff about himself that he never knew about, you know, and now he's telling me more stuff about his competitor that I never knew about. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm getting to know that this guy is a family. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay, that's the wife. I didn't have to ask them, but I could just picture, okay, oh, that's his wife. Okay, that's his brother or a relative. You know,
Very
you could just tell. You know what I'm trying to say? You could tell, okay, this is a family-run business.
Right.
A proper family-run business.
Right.
And they say to me, they've been there for over 12 years. They tell me how long they've been there. He said to me that they are the best. Their price is the best, and they deliver the best service in this area.
Now, did they have a website and mobile site?
None at all.
They didn't have a mobile site?
But they are the best. Though.
But did they have a website? Everybody has a website. They did not have a website.
They don't have a mobile site, a website, direct. They never claim they're directly listed, but they are the best though.
Fan page?
Fan page? I think you're taking it too far.
Email address?
No, they didn't have.
Did they have a phone?
Just a phone number. Yeah, they had a phone number.
Oh dear.
You know, he was very happy with his graphics, his business card that he brought it up and showed me. And I said to him,
okay, all right.
I looked at it. I said to him, "Where's your logo?" He said to me, "Oh, the lady there." I said, "The lady is just an image. It's a stock image. Where's your logo?" He said, "Oh, I've got a logo." I'm like, okay, that same stuff that he was very proud to show me, I just looked at it and said, okay, there's no logo here. So how come you don't have a logo? You spend all this money printing all this without logo. You know, he said,
another upsell. Another upsell opportunity.
So yeah, I just see that there's so much flaws. So he kind of like got tired of hearing all the flaws. So I had to tell him all the good stuff anyway. You had to tell him how they've taken their time to look through my stuff, and I kept on pressing on the review. Okay, I kept on pressing on the review that I read that brought me here. Anyway, so this is how they actually saw that, okay, this is this guy can do what he says he can do.
Right.
So I showed them some mobile sites, websites, and showed them all the stuff, and he was like, I'm going for a holiday. You know, I'm going for a holiday. I booked my holiday. He showed me on his reception table, oh, I booked my holiday. I'm going to Greece for 2 weeks with the family. Please, I want you back. He said to me, in fact, you're dropping your clothes, come back the same time, then we can get this whole thing sealed and get, I want to get started up with it, because I showed them that the competitor that they were talking about has a website, that they need a website, and that I can create a Ferrari website for them. He started laughing. You know, and that's how that. And that was one of the stuff that made this a lot easier. I told them a couple of stats about mobile stats, and they looked at it, and they know that. I said to them, do you have a smartphone? He said yes. I said everyone's got that.
Right.
You know, you can browse your go online on there to check your website. Imagine I'm looking for you and I can't see you.
That's right.
That's gonna be, and that's exactly how to talk to them. Just make them imagine it and let them feel bad, and then but just tell them that you help them.
You have the solution. So
make sure you tell them you can help.
Exactly.
Right.
And the interesting thing about this whole process, so Joshua did do his homework. Joshua did go in knowing what this business was lacking, right? Mm-hmm. And having a solution ready. Joshua actually made sure he had a website and a mobile site fully customized for a dry cleaner, for this dry cleaner. And so he walked in, I was able to say, would you like this website? Would you like this mobile site? That's a very powerful thing to be able to do, because it makes the decision on them a lot easier. They don't have to try to imagine what they want their website to look like. You're already showing them a fully built product. And so you can pretty much take the conversation from there, right? Joshua has a few tricks up his sleeve in terms of the closing, introducing scarcity. So, for example, you could let them know what you typically charge. Maybe you charge $500 or $750 for a website, but you could give them an on-the-spot discount. That's one way of doing it. You could also give them a discount, offer them a discount if they are willing to give a testimonial and a couple of referrals. That's a great way to build your network, by the way. So these are little tweaks to the method that you can implement depending on what your needs are. If you have 0 clients right now and you're trying to get the first client, maybe you tell them it's a $500 website, but you'll give it to them for $99 and a testimonial plus 2 referrals. Those 2 referrals now you go through the same process. You'll probably close at least 1 out of the 2 for a low price, but you get your testimonial plus 2 referrals. You do that a few more times, you now have a nice client base, and you can increase your prices each time. Does that make sense?
Correct. One of the things that you should remember is when you are closing, you've got to let them know that they're getting a testimonial from you too for their website, because you've used their service.
Oh.
So you'll be happy to give them one too. Okay, and you could be very cheeky to create one on video. It's gonna take you just like a camera phone. Yeah, this Mr. Dry Cleaner is the best dry cleaner in the whole world. And then you give it to them, stick it somewhere on their website. They're gonna love you, man. You're gonna love you, because
that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
It's just simple stuff that always make sure that you give, because these guys, you can use them in the sense that you can actually, rather than even taking money, you can take other stuff from them. You can take credits for dry cleaning your own clothes. Rather than taking money, you can maybe have that, maybe $200, $300 you charge them. You can say, okay, I want them in dry cleaning. I don't want to pay for my clothes anymore, dry cleaning my clothes. You can bring it maybe every £20 every month or something like that. So you spread it across. You know what I mean? So that can be something that you can easily turn around and give to someone else. There's so much ways to go about this. Closing them is the main thing. Getting them to now give you referrals is the second. that now gets you more business. And the testimonial you get from them now solidifies you walking into the next business and saying, this is it. You got this from this guy, from that guy. This is, it's easy for you. You can literally close the next deal by walking into the next business, just next door, showing them what you've done for the other business. So this is now making you look too nice and sweet. So whenever you show up, they're gonna say, "Oh, this is the man."
See now Joshua is even introducing new twists to this method that I didn't really catch the first go around. That testimonial exchange, man, that is killer, because you're right on the premises of the business. And so if you tell them, look, you guys I know you're going to do a great job with my clothes, or when I return and you do a great job with my clothes, I'm going to give you a video review. That's amazing. That's going to go on all of their directory listings, on their websites, and so on and so forth. So really, really powerful methods. As you can see, this method, this overall method and all the tweaks, they're designed to help those of you who need to get those first few clients, okay? If you already have a large client base, you may not feel like walking down to the local dry cleaner, even though if you have clothes to be dry cleaned, you may as well do it anyway. But we really designed it to help folks who want to get those first few clients, because you sidestep, there's no gatekeepers. You don't have to deal with the awkward rejection. If they're not interested, it's okay. You're still a customer, right? And everybody's
take your clothes to the next dry cleaner. I will take my clothes to the next dry cleaner. Thank you very much.
You pull them out of the dry cleaner.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to spend money if you're not going to spend money on me too. Come on, man. It's business. At the end of the day, you want to use their service. If they don't trust you, you wouldn't trust them too. It's simple.
Well, there you
don't feel bad at all. I just try to make you guys, after all, what you're giving them is something that imagine you walk into a dentist and then giving them a Ferrari website that makes them look bigger than what they are. Basically, you can charge $2,000. So you're giving it to a dry cleaner. He should be jumping from a skyscraper and telling you that he loves you. If not, you just walk away. Walk away, because they're never going to love you. They're never going to see how good you are. They're never going to feel that you're giving them bringing any benefits to their business. So you might as well shut the door the same way they shut their door. But don't always shut lightly, because you can always come back. That's a smart way. That my wife always tells me that, says, never you shut your door too hard, because as always that you might need them one day. We always need each other in this world anyway, so it's a very smart thing to do.
Exactly. So how many of you think you could take this method this weekend and use it with a local dry cleaner? If you think you could, go ahead and type yes in all caps in the question box right now. Type a big yes if you think you could. Find some dirty clothes or put on a suit and roll around on the grass and then go to the dry cleaner and try this method. I think everyone could try this method, and it's a risk-free method, because all you have to do, you're casually asking them about stuff you already know the answer to and seeing where the conversation takes you. So it's powerful. You definitely can do this. The thing is, this method, this mobile laundering method, is one of several that we've designed and tested to help you get clients fast. As I mentioned, getting clients fast works for some purposes of your business. There are also other methods we teach that will go through more systematic approaches. But if you need clients fast, whether it's your first or your 10th client, and you need to add another client quickly, this works. But what might be missing? Why is it that of the folks that are on the call with us today, most of you are going to try this, but not everybody will get the success that they seek, even with a method that's so well tested and that's so simple? What is missing? What's missing? Right? This is a solid, simple, proven method. But what if you need help with implementation, right? Like you do steps 1 through 4, and then step 4.5 comes up and you're not sure what to do? What if you need help getting unstuck? Like you keep getting stuck at step 3. And step 3 seems to work for everybody else, but it's not working for you, and you're like, am I the problem, or is it the process? What's going on? Or what if you You just need encouragement when things don't go according to plan. There was one dry cleaner that Joshua spoke with who loved everything Joshua had to say, loved all the mobile sites and the websites and the reviews, but was simply unwilling to invest a single dollar in his own marketing. What do you do when things don't go according to plan? Or what do you do if you need accountability to keep you honest, to keep you fired up, and keep you taking action? We're all busy. Most of us are married with kids. A lot of you guys still have 9-to-5 jobs, right? You have demands. Things get busy. What if you need accountability in order to make sure you actually go through all the steps? Because of those missing puzzle pieces, Joshua and I spent a lot of time with our heads together, and we put together a 12-week coaching program. It's called Get a Client Fast. Now, what is Get a Client Fast? Let me show you what's included. It's 12 weeks of group coaching calls, okay? So we're meeting with a group of you all once a week, every week, unfailingly for 12 weeks, right? Spending an hour and a half to 2 hours each time. And every week, you're going to get advanced training that will expedite your progress, okay? This is going to be a deep dive into your business. We speak to every single individual, and this is a limited class size, by the way. So that's why we're able to dive into each and every one of your businesses to find out where the problems are, find out where you're stuck, and find out how to get you unstuck. So it's very personal, even though it's group coaching. We'll also be giving 12 weekly homework assignments. So each week you get homework to do. And this is really, really important. Remember how I talked about how busy you all are? All of us are extremely, extremely busy. We give that accountability by telling you what we expect you to complete by the next class, the next group call, and you have that expectation, that positive peer pressure, because you're going to have to give an update live in front of all your other classmates. So you will get results. We also provide 12 weekly audio training. So in addition to the live calls, in addition to the homework, we're also going to give you content during the week just to keep you going, to keep you motivated, to maintain your momentum. Your speed really will be determined by how quickly you're able to execute. If you only have time to work on your business 1 hour a day, we'll work with you on that 1 hour a day pace, and we'll give you the audio training to keep you motivated and to get that 1 hour a day done. If you're able to do 3 or 4 hours a day on your business, more power to you. We're going to fuel you through that 3 or 4 hours a day every day. If you want lightning fast results, this program is definitely going to help you do that. Let me tell you about the coaching course modules that we're going to go through on the group calls every week. Week 1 will be an introduction. We'll get to know everyone, we'll get to know everybody's business, and we'll lay out a plan specific for you. Week 2 will be building your credibility. So a lot of us struggle with approaching business owners when knowing that or feeling like we don't quite have a strong foundation to stand on. You know, you want to look professional. You want to look authoritative. How do you do that? We help you do that in week 2. Week 3, we now start getting into individual methods, and this ties into the homework. Each week, we're going to teach a different method, and we will task you with going out to implement that method and get results. Now, do you think if you had someone, in this case Joshua or myself, working with you every week to take action, specific, proven, systemized action, do you think you'd be able to get results? I think so. So week 3 is the nonprofit organization method. Week 4 is the mobile site giveaway method. These are all unique methods that we've tested. Week 5 is the networking event method. Week 6 is the directory listing method. You'll love that one. Week 7 is the niche interview method. Not a lot of people are doing this, and business owners love it. Week 8 is the Craigslist scarcity method. Very powerful, very scalable. Week 9 is the blog giveaway method. This works particularly well with business owners that are willing to create content, like the dentist that was creating videos that Joshua talked about a few minutes ago. Week 10 is the reputation review method. Some of what Joshua talked about as well in his story regarding reviews will be fleshed out in week 10. Week 11 is the video publicity method, very powerful method using video. And week 12 is your conclusion, wrapping it all up, making sure you're getting results. By the time you go through weeks 1 through 12, just think about how many clients you will have been able to close and what that will mean for your business, right? So here's a summary of what you're getting. You're getting 12 weekly group coaching calls. You're getting 12 weekly homework assignments, 12 coaching course modules, and 12 weekly audio trainings. But this is by application only. Why is this by application only? Why don't we just send you to a sales page, let you click the buy button, let everybody come on in, and hey, we get started on Monday. Let's all have a party. Well, listen, we want to respect your time, and we certainly want to respect ours. Both Joshua and myself run a couple of businesses each. We're both husbands and dads, and there's only so many hours in the day. Plus, we actually want to do a deep dive, not sort of a shallow, cursory examination of your business, a deep dive into your business. So we can only work with at most 20 people. And we want to work with, there's going to be a lot more than 20 people that are jumping in on this in a minute when I share the link. We want to work with the 20 that are most serious and that are most determined to get results. If you come in, we can give you all the tools, all the coaching, all the accountability in the world, but if you're not willing to commit to the process, I'm afraid this isn't going to be for you, and you're not going to get the results. You won't be happy with us. We won't be happy with you. So let's not put each other through that. That's why this is by application only. So the Get a Client Fast 12-week coaching course is by application only. We're going to get started in the next week or so, in about 7 days. And so the URL, the link for you to get to the application is on the screen. I'll put it in the chat window as well. But for those of you who can just type it from listening, it is is.gd/fast_client. is.gd/fast_client. I have that in the chat window as well. Go ahead and click on that. There we go. I think I fixed it the first time I missed a slash. But you have that in the chat window. Make sure that works. Click on that. Let me know if it's working. There should be a link to the application somewhere on there. Okay? And let's get back to why all of this is important to you anyway. As we talked about earlier, we've spoken to hundreds of you, about the challenges you're having. Some of you just want to help local businesses. Some of you are doing it for financial freedom. Some of you are focused on retirement, very serious, and you want to get your retirement income right. Some of you just want to improve your lifestyle. Some of you want to replace your income from that crappy job, and I understand that. I used to be in that position myself. Lots of you are looking for independence. You're looking for that satisfaction of achievement. You even want to pass along that success to dozens of offline businesses that you can see in your community that are struggling. Or maybe you just want to spend more time with the family. You want to get out of debt. Maybe you want to build a business that you can pass on to your kids and your grandkids. There's so many important reasons why you need to stop doing what you've been doing if what you've been doing hasn't been working, right? With Get a Client Fast, we're going to help you to finally tackle those nagging problems head on, right? The problems like, I have all these info products, but I'm stuck trying to implement. We're going to help you with that. The problems like, I can't get these clients to buy what I'm selling. We're going to help you with that. Problems like, I've bought the latest and greatest product, but I don't have the knowledge to make it work. We can help you with that. If you're struggling to have these business owners see the potential of mobile marketing or online marketing or social media or reputation management, we can help you pass those roadblocks by not making this an information product, by making this a live, interactive, ongoing class for 12 weeks. We're able to identify those roadblocks. We're able to identify those areas in which you're getting stuck. and we can get you unstuck, right? If you need help getting your website set up so you can have a professional appearance, we are experts at that. We will help you to do that. If you're struggling to learn how to use all the tools that you already have, right? We covered at least 10 methods. There are at least 10 methods in this coaching. We're going to show you how to implement those tools and resources to get results in a variety of ways. Maybe only 3 or 4 out of the 10 methods will actually kind of suit your personality and your strengths and your skills. That's okay. All you need is for one to work, isn't it? We're giving you 10 to choose from. So, if you're frustrated that you're not getting help with implementation, you're not getting help getting started, going from 0 to 60, if you're frustrated that you're getting stuck and you don't get help getting unstuck, if you need help figuring out what order to do things in, get a client fast is what you need. And remember, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. And if things don't get better, it means they're going to get worse. You'll keep on putting in more effort, and you'll keep getting little or worse, no results. You'll keep on amassing education with little or no results. You'll keep hitting roadblocks. Remember that book that I never published? You'll keep hitting roadblocks that turn into permanent road signs. And I can tell you this, accountability weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Jim Rohn, the late, great Jim Rohn, said that, and I think I'm paraphrasing. I think he said discipline weighs ounces and regret weighs tons. The point of the matter is, don't settle for regret. Get the help you need. If this program sounds like it could help you with the struggles you're having, then by all means, fill out that application and we'll talk. Now, it may not be a fit for you, or you may not be a fit for us, right? We still love you. You're still part of the Funnel Mechanics family. We still have a lot of other products that can help you and that hopefully are helping you already. As a matter of fact, what you've learned on this session today, this free session, you can actually take to the dry cleaners today or tomorrow if you need some time to put on your suit and roll around in the grass. You could take your suit to the dry cleaners tomorrow and knock it out of the park, right? You don't even need anything else. But if you feel like you need that accountability, you need that help diving into your business and making sure you get results, get a client fast will get you results. Okay, so this has been how to get offline clients fast without the hassle, without the heartache, without the rejection. Go to the link if you haven't yet. It is is.gd/fast_client. Go to that link, fill out the application. Joshua and I will go through each and every application. We will get back to you, so put all your contact information in there, and hopefully you get into the program and we can start to work with you within the next week or so. All right, this has been fun. On behalf of Joshua K. and myself, I want to say thank you for sitting with us. I hope you got a lot from this training. If you got a lot from this training, give me an I. That's an AYEI, not the letter I, although if you feel like typing the letter I, that's okay as well. It's fewer letters. But type the word I in the chat box or question box just to let us know that you got a lot from this session. That is excellent. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, we're going to be doing this a little bit more regularly now. We're going to have a lot more free training for you. But of course, if you want that hand-holding, if you want that accountability, if you want that deep dive into your business, if you want those guaranteed results, fill out that application. All right, this is Balaji O, and on behalf of Joshua K. and myself, I want to say thank you, and we will see you on the next one. If you have any questions, hit us up. We'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. Thanks.